Meanwhile, in the Netflix realm, we have Lou, a film that has crossed my path several times as I was flipping through on there, and something that I wasn't quite sure if I was going to talk about, yet here we are. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my review of Lou, the new Netflix film. Thank you so much, guys, for clicking here. I really do appreciate it. So the film tells the story of Hannah, a mother whose daughter is kidnapped by her angry ex, which forces her to team up with her neighbor Lou, someone whose secrets goes deeper than meets the eye. Again, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to talk about this, was seriously debating, but I figured, what the hell. Can't hurt. Besides, I have been on here for a week, so yeah. But after all those review film series, I needed a break. But here I am. And yes, I do have a feeling that I will be hearing echoes in this video because this is a film that I'm pretty sure is not that known. Most of Netflix movies aren't, really. So yeah, I have a feeling that I'll be hearing echoes throughout this video. Was this really worth it though? Did it move mountains? Let's find out. Start off with the positives for Lou. Allison Janney, who plays Lou, which is what the film is named after, I thought she was pretty well. I thought she was pretty decent. She was pretty cool. I liked her attitude. She's somebody in this movie to where you don't know whether to love or hate. Some scenes she's helpful. She helps this woman, tries to find her daughter. And yet, like, some scenes she's helpful. Others, she's just a complete bitch. It's like, you don't know whether to trust this woman or not. She's one of those mysterious characters that you just don't know what to think of. But at the same time, you feel sympathy for her because you know that she's went through a lot in her life. I mean, it even shows a scene depicting that in which, spoiler alert, she almost just about kills herself until the movie starts. And after the little girl's kidnapped and the mother trollops into her house, right at that moment you knew there's a lot going on behind this character that meets the eye. And because of that, it just kind of made her likable, to me anyway. She's one of those very prideful women who can't show the slightest weakness, otherwise she'll see it as a threat or something like that. It's very empowering, especially to a woman like in that stature. I found very enduring, especially in this film, for that character. She's just someone you'd love to hate, but at the same time you feel sympathy for because as the movie progresses, she just starts helping out this family, and it's just something that you grow to like from this character. She's just someone that you find out has been through the ringer, which is where the sympathy comes in, even though she acts kind of mean in some scenes. And it really hooks you in to this character because you don't know what her path is. She pulled it off. She really did pull it off. And the story was pretty cool. I liked the whole kidnapping angle to where this villain kidnaps this kid that has a tie-in with her and her mother. And obviously this guy's up to no good. So you have this whole kidnapping angle, which makes it even better because it involves this little girl who's getting kidnapped, and this mother and this other person tries to go find her in the midst of the storm, which makes it all the more tense. I like stories like that. It just grabs you, and it makes movies like this kind of worth it. I mean, even though it's one of those low-budget, straight-to-streaming type deals that nobody's probably ever going to watch, but, you know, I'd like to think that they will, though. And because just that whole angle alone to the story was actually pretty intriguing. Speaking of the villain, Philip, played by Logan Marshall-Green. He was actually pretty cool. I've seen him in other stuff before. I had to look him up because I knew he looked familiar. And from the side, he kind of looks like Jon Bernthal a little bit. I don't know what you guys think, but in some angles, he kind of looked like Jon Bernthal. You know, the guy that played the Punisher in the TV show. That's who he kind of reminded me of. But Logan Marshall-Green, he was pretty cool in this. He's also somebody with sort of like a dark past, and he's got this mystified mystery about this character, about him, that it just makes you really question, like, what is this guy gonna do? You better not hurt that little girl, which actually made it even more tense. You play this character off in your head as more of a dangerous character because of that reason alone. And you just, you're trying to figure out, what's this guy's angle? What is he up to? Especially the connection between this guy and Lou herself, which I won't get into just in case some of you has the slightest interest in this movie. I won't get into, but it was pretty interesting. It was pretty intriguing. He played it off pretty well. Like I said, you don't know what his intentions are, especially with this little girl, which makes him all the more dangerous and all the more reason for you to kind of hate this villain. Because you're thinking the whole time, don't you dare hurt this little girl, you bastards. Major props to the guy. I like the whole chemistry between Lou and Hannah. They're pretty solid. You get them in this tough situation where they try to track for this little girl and try to save her from this person. They just go through the ringer. They're out in this rainy, hurricane-ish type of weather. They get banged up pretty good. They fall off these loose ladders. They fall down cliffs and hills. They get put through the ringer, that's for sure. But the way they played off of each other was actually pretty interesting. It was actually pretty cool. Like I said, I like the chemistry between the two, and it made the film pretty interesting. It just made you really feel for the dynamic between the two. And it really added something to the movie that was actually quite intriguing. But was this movie the greatest thing Netflix ever put out? Did this win me over completely? As we go into the mix, Jurnee Smollett, who played Hannah, the mother of the little girl, I thought she was decent. She was fine. She had her moments. Especially by the beginning of the second, maybe mid to the second act, she really shined. She showed her true colors there, but it wasn't until that moment is when she really shined. But the first act, it was a little questionable. It felt like she was trying too hard, and in the sense to where you felt like she didn't really have enough time to rehearse her lines, because the way she would deliver her lines, it just didn't feel quite that kosher. It didn't really feel like she had enough time to rehearse, because it just felt like she was going through the motions, especially the way that she came out and she just delivered her lines, but only in the first act. When it got to the second act, especially to the mid-second act, whenever the movie actually started, she shined. It's like she was waiting for a challenge, and that's when she did her best work, which I gotta respect. I mean, the first act, not so much, but when the challenge actually started, that's when she got better. And I guess you could say I respect her for that. It's like she did her best work when there was a challenge, when the challenge part of the movie started. Now, as we dive into the negatives. Going into this, I wasn't expecting any less from a Netflix movie, but the pacing was off. Now, I wasn't expecting this to be some grand gesture, some grand type of movie. I wasn't expecting it to change my opinion of Netflix forever, because it's always been sort of a hit and miss with me with Netflix. But the pacing was a little slow, and that's due to lack of action. If you look at the movie, it's labeled as an action adventure, but there's also the word drama after that. That's what this movie really is. It's just a drama. Again, I wasn't really expecting that much, but I kind of wish that there was a little bit more, because you don't get that much action here. You get like maybe 2 or 3 fight scenes throughout the whole entire almost 2-hour film. And that's it. If they just, made Hannah, Jurnee Smollett's character, kind of like a Linda Hamilton / Sarah Connor type character, hell yeah, that would have been loads better. And maybe sprinkled in some more bad guys here and there. Kind of make it like a Die Hard type film, only in the woods. That would have been awesome. But again, with the lack of action, you don't get that much here. You don't get any here, actually, to be honest. Other than a couple of fight scenes here and there, but it's nothing big. It's nothing to write home about. You get hardly anything here, short of a couple of fight scenes. But again, I wasn't expecting anything less. But in the end, guys, the film was fine. Like most of Netflix projects, I expected nothing less, because I was on the fence. So Lou, what was your thoughts on it? Were you a fan of the film? Did you find any entertainment value whatsoever? Was this the one that won you over for Netflix for good, or was this a complete dud and just nothing else really has changed for Netflix? Leave me a comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment, and share the big four. Make sure to click that bell icon so you don't miss a thing and I can be all up in your face. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.